the guy that sold the unit, as soon as we got in the truck, he was celebrating. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a good commission check. This is gonna be good." I'm like, "How can you sleep with yourself? Like how does that sit right with you? I don't understand." The struggle for sure, and the way I'm seeing it right now is I'm just like, I just gotta sacrifice, a couple years, and you'll thank me later if everything goes to plan. And but it's hard. It's hard to kind of balance, everything.
Hola, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Reliable HVACR podcast. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, watching this live. If you guys joined the live chat, I appreciate you guys interacting with me and the guest. If you guys are on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the new channel and help it out. Help the podcast out by wherever you listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcast, making sure you leave a 5-star review, hopefully. And, get the podcast out to more people. We are having good conversations with good people, and I really, love doing this. I also want to thank the sponsors of the podcast. We have Jobber, my favorite CRM. I cannot tell you, going from paper invoices to completely digital has completely changed the game for me. I always did all the billing, quoting, trying to get all the prices updated. I can do all that in the palm of my hand with Jobber, and you never have to worry about chicken scratch or physically picking up invoices, anything like that. It's all digital, it's all online, easy to track, getting paid quicker. So if you guys want a free trial and a discount, go check out getjobber.com/reliablehvacr. And VETO Pro Pack, as far as the best tool bags that you can get, be sure to check out VETO's diverse lineup of tool bags. They're built to last. They do have a 5-year warranty if there's any defects. VETOPropack.com. Go check out my profile on their website. I'm super honored to be on that. And you won't be disappointed. Great bags. They're pricey, but they'll last you a long time. And just a quick reminder, if you guys like listening about our work week experiences, our rants about what we do and don't like about work, our tech tips, all of that, join me, Jake, and Curtis, 2 other big YouTubers, on HVAC nights. We have a weekly live show, so please go check that out. It's a ton of fun. It's laid back. I never know what's going to come up. It's just a spontaneous, uncensored version of what we see out in the field and kind of just our lifestyle. So go check out HVAC nights and help that channel out. On today's episode, we have Ramon Perez, also known as 5-Minute Delay. Super unique name and love-hate kind of term between us HVAC techs. So the last time I had him on, which I think he was my first official guest on this podcast journey that I had, he was a technician out of Las Vegas. I think it's a super cool market to be in, and he got kind of fed up with the way that some of the companies were running things out there, and he went out on his own, and he has a unique story as to how he navigated through that. And we're going to have him on the episode today talking about, his experiences, what made him want to jump into a business of his own, and now running top tier services. I will leave all his information in the description. If you guys, go check him out. If you need any service in the Las Vegas area, I'm sure he'll be happy to help and, enjoy the show. All right, man. Yeah, you've been a busy dude lately. How are you?
Super busy, just like what you said. It's been crazy. As you probably seen, I finally was able to get everything set up, start my own little company and whatnot, and it's just been growing. It grew very rapidly.
Yeah. So we have Ramon Perez here. Your company is Top Tier Services, right?
Correct.
That's a pretty good name. It's unique. It's not the typical, And I know I have that for mine too. The typical like flame or snow logo with like something cooling and heating.
Yeah,
I like the name.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I try to be a little different, just like with like the Instagram handle, 5 minute delay. Nobody really knows it unless you do what you do, then they understand.
Yeah, man, the dreaded 5 minute delay. That's also a unique, like you said, a different name. Everybody deals with that at some point, and it's like, oh man, like you start stressing out. So,
That was one of my customers yesterday. Actually, I went and he had a no cooling call and whatnot, and I went up in the attic, found a blown cap, and then we're just sitting there after I reset everything and put the new cap in, and we're waiting and waiting and waiting, and he's like, "Is it fixed?" And I was like, "Just wait. We're on a delay right now. I promise."
oh yeah, sometimes you
But
don't know, man.
yeah, no, he was stressed out for sure. House was like 93 degrees, so he was very anxious to get some cooling.
Um, yeah, so it's been a while, man. You actually were, I think you were like my first real guest when I started this, right? So you were on the show last year, but a lot's changed. Like you said, you're doing your own thing now. You're doing your company. You got that off the ground and all that. And like I've seen you posting. I've talked to you a couple times. Like you've been staying busy. You work. You're pretty booked, right? You're pretty you know
Yeah,
scheduled and booked and all that far out. Getting work and all that, right?
yeah. It's just been consistent. I haven't even honestly done much of visiting any customers at all. Everybody is just like, "Hey, I got this guy. Can you give him a call? His unit's not cooling," or "Hey, I own this building. Can you come take a look at it?" And it's just been consistent. I didn't expect it to be what it's become, honestly.
You didn't expect it to take off like it did.
I didn't. My whole game plan is I was thinking that it was going to take about a year, maybe two, to get it, uh, you know, fully off the ground and to kind of um, run its own and whatnot. But it's been I got everything set up in February, so it's very fast. It was very fast.
Okay, so how long have you been in business then? Since February?
I got everything filed with the LLC and whatnot, and last year in July, and then I got my contractor's license this year in January, and I finally started doing work in February.
Okay, so you had a pretty you had it thought out and planned out. So you got everything business related, all that filed and like you said, and then you went and got your license this year. So you've only been in business technically a few months then, right?
Correct.
Like running calls and doing all that.
Yeah, yeah, and you know how last year I was a part owner of another company, and I got bought out. My part of that company, we wanted to do different things and whatnot, and there's no bad blood or no bad feelings about it at all. It was all business related and whatnot. They wanted to do certain things. I wanted to do certain things, so it worked out for everybody. This
Okay,
top tier service.
that's where I got kind of confused because I was like, I thought it was something else, and then I kind of just saw you with top tier services, and I'm like, there was another one. I know there was. So you had a crack at this last year with like a partner then, right?
Yeah, it was three of us total,
Oh, okay.
and we were in business, for a little while and whatnot, and I just wanted to head a different route. I had a different vision for what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
and you know, it's working. That's all I'm gonna say. It's working, and like I also said, there's no bad blood. I talked to
Yeah.
the other two people that are still the owners of the other company, and we get along fine. But
Yeah,
I just had
it's I can imagine it's hard. There was like you said, three of you, and I deal with that a little bit now, but we're a family business, we're all related. But like I've had to, like the way we work, right? It's restaurant related, and I knew that going into it. So when I got my license and I went to school for it and everything, like I only got my class B because I didn't do anything over 25 tons. I stayed in the refrigeration side of everything. I don't really advertise that we do AC work. That just kind of comes with it, right? I mean, they want you to check everything. You know how it is.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
And I just knew that I was going to stay in that restaurant space, right? So I never wanted to do residential. I never really wanted to get big into HVAC either, like the AC side of it. So we've had guys that are like right now we have a guy that works for us. He's related, like I said, but he's like, well, why don't we do residential? Why don't we do, we got, because he has like people asking him like to do either residential or apartments or stuff like that. I'm like, when do we have the time? Like, I don't want to, and honestly, I don't want to be in attics and stuff like that. Like, I'm really comfortable in the kitchen, and I'm like, no, like we're good, the way we are and all that. So,
No, yeah.
I can imagine like the three of you, if you had different, like you said, visions for it, it's going to be hard to kind of control that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly my point. And everybody has their own thing that they're comfortable with. Like you said, you like to be in the kitchen and whatnot. I don't have a problem being in the kitchen. I actually had a customer who had me go look at his walk-in freezer and whatnot. I just like to do residential because I'm dealing with the customer one-on-one. You know how it is sometimes when you're doing commercial, you gotta jump through hoops and loops to get everything approved, and then just the message gets lost from one person to another, and then by the time the head honcho hears it, it's completely wrong.
Yeah, I've been dealing with that lately a lot. I'm getting a little frustrated with it. We have things that I've been recommending, and then it gets lost in the shuffle and the communication side of it. And then I've been seeing, and now some of it is just the customer being cheap, but some of it is they don't know who to call either. Because on the commercial side, you might not be the only company that services that place, or like they might. I've had this happen too. They accidentally call the older company, like the last company, and it's like, why didn't you give us a call? But I've seen it to where like they didn't know who to call, and then another company does like a change out, and I'm like, oh man, we missed out on that, or whatever it is. And it's stuff that I recommended, or I'll recommend something, and then like later on they're like, why didn't you fix it? I'm like, I never got approval. Like there's all this stuff that you deal with on the commercial side, which I'm used to, but it's still it's like a headache and stuff.
I'll work on anything, honestly, but I just love residential just because of that one-on-one interaction with the customer, and they get to see the value that you're bringing.
You've primarily done residential across the board, like even at your old companies and stuff. Is that what you mostly did,
No, I honestly
or
I
like
did residential.
little of everything?
A little bit of everything is a good way of putting it. So the first 6 months or so in the trade, I was at a residential company and it was strictly residential, nothing else, installs, service calls. And then I went over to the commercial side, and then at the other company it was industrial and commercial. So it was chillers, boilers, pumps. So I've seen it all. I just at the end of the day I prefer the residential just because it's like not that big of a headache. I want to say
Yeah,
if you
I remember seeing like you working on some crazy stuff sometimes, and I didn't know if that was like a common thing that you worked on, or just every now and then. Like you said, you just deal with one customer at a time, and then you do your work.
correct, and also for like a business owner, I'm sure you don't have this issue, but you would understand it. With residential, the cash flow is instant. You get paid once the job is complete, which is immediately. Versus when you're doing commercial, sometimes it's net 30, sometimes it's like net 90. So
Yeah,
then you're just kind of blowing that cash, and it's a nightmare. And I'm not there yet, but I will be where you gotta focus or you gotta worry about payroll and all that other stuff. And that's just another one of the perks. It's instant cash flow.
yeah. I've that's a common thing that I've heard. If you are gonna, like, we did start as a commercial business. We'd never done residential, so like starting, you're gonna have to realize that you don't get paid right away. It's like something you have to start, wait, and then just keep it flowing, right? So, month to month, you're gonna start getting random checks, or whatever. We still get checks in the mail for a lot of these businesses, but on the residential side, you do get to collect. And we did have some that paid cash on site. I forgot what the term is, but like They were like the smaller shops, the mom and pop shops, right? We would do like some kitchen work, some AC work, and those were really cool because they would just pay you cash out of the register, or cut you a check and we get paid right away. I still have those every now and then, but we try to stick to commercial and just we have the bigger we have a lot of bigger accounts, which the bigger they are, the more they cry about things. It's not like easy money either, but like it's just what we like and what we're used to. This podcast is presented by Local. Local works tirelessly to help HVAC contractors rank higher on Google. They use an attack methodology to make sure that contractors dominate their local service areas and increase their market share and generate higher revenue. Reach out to Local at localhq.com/reliable. Mention me or the Reliable HVACR podcast, and you'll get 2 months of SEO for free. SPECTROLINE leak detection, the highest quality and brightest fluorescent leak detection products on the market. Get the job done right with their 2-in-1 premium UV dye and powerful AC sealant Glow Seal. I've actually used it. You can extend the lifespan of your equipment, find and seal the smallest and hardest to find leaks. It works 24/7. Once it's in, it's always on. This product works when you're not there. The only focused leak detection company with success in many industries, because believe it or not, it's in most vehicles out on the road right now. So if you guys want to find out more, go to spectroline.com and let me know what your favorite leak detection method is. You say you like to do residential. I saw on your like Instagram and stuff, you've worked on like, I want to say it was like ice machines and walk-ins and stuff. Are you doing that on with your business? Like anything you I guess they ask of you?
I can work on walk-ins, ice machines, reach-ins, anything that's refrigeration related. Um, I haven't honestly chased it. Like I said, I've had a couple customers that are like, "Hey, I got this restaurant," because I do their house. They're like, "Hey, I have a restaurant. The walk-in is down, and they're telling me I need a compressor. Can you go look at it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I'll go take a look at it." And then I go out there, and the unit has a leak, or it's the defrost clogged, or something like that. And it's not what the other company told them, and
Oh, I've been
then they
there
want
plenty of times. Yeah.
yeah, and then keep feeding you the work, and it's like, okay, I guess I'll keep taking it as it comes. But I haven't chased it at all. I haven't advertised that I do ice machines or any refrigeration at all. I do tell them I can do commercial if they have a building, I can look at it, but I haven't actually chased the refrigeration side.
It's funny because it's the other way around for me. I advertised refrigeration, like we're commercial refrigeration. I prefer to do that. And my dad's company, or this is my dad's company. He started it as a like a cooking equipment, like fryers or anything like that on that side. That's what he did. And then I came on to do the coolers and freezers and ice machines. I never advertised that I did AC work, but then I ended up doing like we're a full blown like maintenance. I feel like we're a maintenance company now. We're doing all the maintenance. I think right now we have some that are twice a year. We're doing quarterly ones, and it's like we'll take care of the AC units, and every now and then we'll do a change out. That stuff it just comes with it, right? Like
It does.
if you can do one, you can do the other. I would assume. Even though you had some experience prior to this, like I would assume you're the kind of person that just goes up to it and kind of does your basic troubleshooting, like on anything that you see, right?
Yeah. I try to, just start from the beginning, power, and then once you got everything in line, you look at the diagrams and go on from there. If I have any issues where I'm not understanding the sequence of the unit or the operation, I'll look up the manual, or I'll look up on YouTube and like look up that unit and see if anybody else has worked on it, and just do that. And I try to figure it out, and most of the time I do. But yeah, if you could do one, you can almost do the other.
Yeah, it's just like different, and like you said, like the sequence, like different safeties. You might get a delay, startup delay. Like an ice machine has like a frost cycle and or a pre-chill cycle. You have all these little quirks to different units. Look up the manual and then just take a minute, 5 minutes to read it and get through it. That's really how easy it is nowadays. Like I didn't have this when I started. I started 17 years ago, right? I was in that era in between where it was like Google was kind of a thing. So I was able to find maybe a couple of manuals. Now there's no excuse. You can find a manual to anything, and if you read that thing, you will know how that unit works.
Yeah, exactly. There's no excuses. You literally, and you have like the Blue On app. I've used that a couple of times. That thing is that it comes in
I just
handy for
started
sure.
using it more and more lately because I've had some units that I need something off of it, and I need the part number. And I've I don't want to call out my supply house, but they have a lot of new guys right now, right?
Oh,
And
oh,
I'm not
yeah.
getting a lot of help.
Oh, that's
And
the worst.
yeah, so I was like, I was like, I have the Blue On app. Let me try it again because I hadn't used it in a while. I actually used it like 3 times in the past week to find like certain pulleys and certain like little, you know, brand specific things. Like I needed the part number, a way to order it. And I've actually been using Blue On, and I have a few apps on my phone. Like there's a ton of resources now that you can use. But yeah, I wasn't getting much help from the new guys, so I was like, let me look it up myself.
Yeah, and that's sometimes what it
You know how
is.
it
You got.
is.
I was gonna say I'm a little bit spoiled over here in Las Vegas. Usually, if I have an issue with the unit and I need the part and I don't have the number, I'll just send the model and serial to the supply house. I have a contact almost at every supply house, and I'll just message them directly like, "Hey, this is the unit. This is what the part looks like. Can you find it for me?" And then they'll usually get back to me within an hour, like, "Hey, I found the part." So I'm
Yeah.
a little bit spoiled on that end.
See, like when I started, um, if you don't have, because when you go into a supply house and you need a part, right? Especially when you start, you don't know that there's like different kinds of like TXVs or different kinds of whatever it is that you're looking for. So you need to make sure that you know what you're getting. And what I would always do is I would try and take out the part. Now, this is before like I could send pictures, right? I mean, we didn't have that.
Yeah,
Um, I would just try and take out the part and try and take it with me because I would get turned away and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're like, we have a ton of these and it could be any of these. Like I'm like, and I was new. I was like, I don't know. I just need a like whatever it was, like a TXV or whatever, a pressure control, and I didn't know the specs on it. So I started, taking the part with me, and then I quickly realized that you need to know what you're talking about. You need to know what you're looking for, like that at least a model and serial number. I mean, that's always a good start. I would always forget to write it down or take a picture of the tag. I had a bad habit of that, and I finally, got on board with that. But at my supply house, all the guys that were helpful are just like in the office now, or they've been promoted, right? So I have to go look for them in the back and kind of
no,
get them to come out. So like at my supply house, I have somebody that helps me like with returns or warranties and stuff. And I always go looking for one guy because he's like an ex technician. And if I can't find something, he'll help me find something that will like match up with it and get it going, right? So it's always a big help. I just wish there was more of you know, the ex technicians or the guys that actually can help you figure things out because I don't know
it
when
helps
it's like
out.
the yeah, because I relied on that a lot too when I was younger. Like I don't know what I'm looking for. Like I don't know where to find this, or I don't know, what else would work here. Can you help me out? And I would always do that. And then like there was a couple of guys that would really help me out, and I thankfully they're still there. I just have to look for them when I go.
Yeah, no, definitely. And there's nothing better when it comes to like the supply house and the counter guys when you're like telling him you're trying to describe it and whatnot, and you're showing him pictures. It's like, oh, this is this part. It goes on this type of unit, and like he's like describing it exact, like the exact part and whatnot, and you could tell that he's done it before, and it just makes life a whole lot easier. The stress kind of goes off your shoulders.
Yeah, there is one guy that is exactly like that, and that's the one that I always try to go to. He still works at the counter, but like he's he he's not there like the whole day. And then even when he is, I think everybody knows he's the go-to guy, and he's always busy, right? He's always somebody always
Yeah,
wants to go or waits for him, and there's like a little line for him. But other guys have gone in like looking for parts with somebody, and they'll be like you said describing it because they don't know, like they're new or whatever, or they're not that good with the trade yet. They're describing it. They're like, I don't know, like they're trying to like figure it out, and then he hears it because he's like not the guy helping him, but he's like the one next to it. And he's like, oh, he's looking for this, or this. Look up this part number, and then like he helps him without even going over there. He just hears him, and he's like, it's this. Just trust me, you know. So
Yeah,
that's the
no,
guy that I love to try and get every time.
no, definitely. I see why. If you could
Yeah,
help you like that, that's good.
yeah. I was like, man, that showed a lot, right? Like he without even like realizing or not even like looking over, he's like, I got it. I know which one it is. It's this. So how long have you been in the trades entirely? Like how many years are you in now?
I want to say 6 years.
6 years.
Overtime, yeah, overtime, we'll say 10. Just kidding. 6 years, yeah.
6 years. You got your own business now, and like you said, like just staying busy. What made you want to start up your own business at such like in such a short time? Like a lot of people don't start within the first 5 or 6 years.
The reason why I think I started my own business is just because I see everything on the backside. Like I see how much everything costs. I see how much, how long it will take and everything like that. And I also see a lot of these big companies kind of just ripping people off. And that just doesn't sit well with me. And that's why I quit my first stint at residential at that company is because I wasn't I wasn't gonna push sales. I'd push I want to push a resolution to their problem, but like not cost them an arm and a leg. So I don't know. I just got motivated by that. Like I wanted to start a company that everybody knows is, honest, has integrity behind them, will do the job right the first time. And if, for some reason we got to go back, you're not going to get, the runaround. You got to talk to this representative and then, you know how it is. But I think that's why I did it. It's just,
Yeah,
uh,
did you have like at that I guess at that other place that you were at, were they trying to get you to was it like a commission type of deal or like a lot of sales?
I started as an apprentice, and like a installer apprentice, and then I would go on service calls with another guy with the lead tech. But as I started getting um, more months and more experience, they were kind of pushing like you need to start selling units, and we'd go out there and it'd be a bad capacitor, and the guy's like, "Yeah, you need a new unit," and it's an old lady, and I'm just like, we can get this thing up and going today. Why does she need to buy a new unit? I don't understand. Like, the company's still going to make money and you're just going to build a good reputation, you know?
Yeah.
But it was pushing sales. They definitely started pushing
So
sales on me.
that I mean it was that extreme, like you said, like from a capacitor to a new unit. Like that's
Yeah.
the kind of work that you guys had to deal with.
Yeah. At that first company, yeah, it was a pretty shady
And
business.
how hard is it to deal with that? Because I've never dealt with it. And are you kind of just trying to bite your tongue and get I guess get through your day?
On that one, um, I remember that one very vividly because this lady had just paid off her F-150 that she had crashed and she didn't have gap insurance, so she was paying on a vehicle that she didn't even own. It was total loss. And then she just kind of started venting to me saying like, oh, I can't get ahead in life, I'm this old and I just finished paying this thing off and now I gotta buy a new unit for X amount of dollars a month. And that one was brutal, and I think like 2 days later I quit. I couldn't do it no more. I
Oh,
found a new
man.
company. Yeah, that didn't sit well with me. And the technician that sold the unit, I was just like I said, I was just an apprentice, kind of shadowing him. The guy that sold the unit, as soon as we got in the truck, he was celebrating. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a good commission check. This is gonna be good." I'm like, "How can you sleep with yourself? Like, how does that sit right with you? I don't understand."
No, and I hate I hate the talk about, HVAC being a scam, but like I mean, the hard truth is that it happens. I mean, it happens in every industry, but like I hate hearing it about HVAC. But like you said, there are guys that go out there and do it because and there's some guys that are just really good at it, right? They get I'm sure like you said he got that sale. He managed to get the sale and everything, and it was just a bad capacitor or whatever it is. And
Yeah.
they go and celebrate, and that's all they care about, right? I mean,
Yep. Exactly.
it's hard to deal with.
It is, and I had customers before. Like you brought up the HVAC scam. I've had customers before mention because I will like post up on my Facebook page and on Nextdoor about preventative maintenance and how it could benefit the customer. And I've had them reply and say like, "Oh, it's a scam," or "How can you, because my preventative maintenance is not like a $29 maintenance, but they'll message me saying like, "Why is yours more expensive than this?" And then I kind of put it into perspective, like, okay, you're paying $29 for somebody to go out and look at your unit. How good of a maintenance do you think they're gonna do? Versus me, I will show you before, after pictures, pictures of the amp draw, and kind of explain everything as I'm, at the end of everything, and just break it down for you. Take the time and educate you.
Yeah,
Like I
that,
don't think
that's
we.
that, no, that's my whole thing too. Is like, if you're gonna sell anything, you can sell like a maintenance, right? Like that would be the only thing that I kind of tell my customers too, even on the commercial side. It's like you're calling me out here especially in the summer, everything's tripping out on high head pressure. I get there and it's usually just a dirty coil, something like that. And I'm like, I could be taking care of all this equipment, right? All in one morning, half a day, whatever it is. And you wouldn't have to call me out or wait for me to get out there with a hot building, right? So
Exactly.
that's the only thing that I try to sell, especially more now, just to keep us busy all year round is a maintenance. And it's funny that you mentioned that because we've had that conversation like with other guys I've talked to about. I never understood the whole like $29 uh, maintenance or whatever it is, but it's essentially like if the customer's trying to like you said on Facebook or whatever it is, they're trying to tell you about yours being more expensive. Like you don't realize that the cheaper ones are actually the scams because that's just to get you that's just to
Yeah.
bait you in, and then they get to walk in the door and then kind of find anything that they can wrong with that system to run up a high bill or a replacement, in the end.
Exactly. Exactly, Adrian. And we know that because we're professionals and we understand that you can't. There's no way. There's no. You can't go out there for $29 and take an hour to do a maintenance if you're taking an hour and a half, whatever it is. And there's no money in that. Your company would lose money, so they're just going out there and they're just gonna tell them like, oh, this is what's wrong, this is what's wrong. Definitely need a new unit, new unit with this, and then by the time they're done, it's like 40 grand.
I know, right?
All
That
be
that 29 that $29 just turned into a whole new system.
exactly, exactly. It happens so often.
Today's episode is also brought to you by NAVIEN. If you haven't seen it yet, NAVIEN has entered the HVAC space in a big way with the new NPF hydro furnace. This hydronic forced air furnace delivers industry-leading variable capacity operation from 15 to 100% in both natural and propane configurations. You can learn more at navieninc.com. And DIVERSITECH, they simplify your work. They have everything that a technician needs to get a job done. I do want to point out that they do have a Simplify Your Summer Challenge. I will leave all the information in the description. If you go over to their Instagram, this challenge is basically a chance to win an ultimate HVACR bundle with over 25 unique products from their DIVERSITECH lineup. This includes Hillmore, Swoosh, the Spin Bits. They have the Pro thermostats. They have the Master Care cleaning solutions. They have so many products. All you have to do to enter is share your work with at least 3 products from any of their lineups in a reel or post and tag them and include the hashtag Simplify Your Summer. So go check that out, go enter, and thanks again for sponsoring the channel and doing this awesome summer giveaway from DIVERSITECH. Like I've had to raise our prices over time just to keep up with the with inflation and prices of everything that's gone up. And I'm like, for 29, like I've had arguments about that too, and I'm like, for $29, like I wouldn't even like I would turn down the work, right? I'm not going to
Yeah,
go out there for 29 bucks. Like the gas, my
costs more
time,
than.
yeah, my
Yeah,
time. And I could be doing another call that for a customer that really wants me to fix something, like it's not even worth the time.
it's not. It's not. And it's not worth it. It doesn't make sense to somebody that's doing it with with the mindset of like I'm gonna go out there, do a good job, clean the unit, be thorough. It just doesn't make sense to do it for that cheap.
No, and I try to tell my customers too, because I try to schedule everything too, because like especially like a maintenance, like I'll go out in the like early in the morning so I can take my time because I don't want to be rushing. I hate rushing, and I do have one customer that gives me like a deadline, and that deadline always ends up creeping up on me because they use like an app. I think it's called Zenput. It's like where they have all their, because they even use it like for their managers and for all the tasks in the restaurant. Like I can see like a bunch of, their to-do list for the month. So mine pops up in there when it's due, and I have like a month or two to do like 20 stores or something like that. And I'm busy in that time, and then like it ends up, the deadline creeps up on me, and I'm like, damn it, so I got to rush through a few of them. But if I can, I'll schedule it because I want to take apart everything, clean everything. You got your drains, you got your blower. A lot of this equipment runs like a long time without any maintenance, and it's like moldy and like they're
Yeah.
pretty disgusting. I'm sure you've seen it.
Oh no, yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely seen that. But yeah, it's maintenance is not a scam. If homeowners are listening, it's not a scam. I'd rather go out and like find a capacitor that's reading low and bring it up to your attention, kind of put the ball in your court on how you want to proceed, and say that we did the maintenance versus you not doing the maintenance at all. That capacitor fails, takes out the compressor, whatever it may be, whatever the case may be. But it's not a scam. It definitely helps with the longevity of the equipment.
Yeah, I had one that I know they've never been cleaned, and because I think another company had put in these systems, and there was, I don't know, it was like 10 years ago or something, 8 to 10 years ago, and I went there and like I was like, okay, it tripped out. We reset it. Both fan motors, because it was a RTU. I can't remember if it was like a 10 ton or something like that. And both fan motors would not come on, and like the capacitors were good and everything like that. One of them I think did try to start. It was rattling like crazy, right? And I'm like, you're lucky it was just the motors, right? Like, but both motors giving out at the same, or me finding both motors out, more than likely that condenser's clogged up, and it killed those motors. Like, there's no reason for both to give out. I don't usually see that.
Exactly.
And if that thing had ran, because I've seen some RTUs that don't even have like a low charge, like a pressure switch, right? It'll run, or like a high pressure switch, like that's they're usually resettable. They reset themselves and all that, and it'll try and keep running. Eventually, that compressor might give out. I've seen plenty of those, and I'm like, all this could have been prevented. I've prevented a lot of compressors giving out because I find like a rub out, I find a loose wire, like you can find a ton of things on maintenances, and
Yeah,
I
no,
try to explain that to the customer too.
yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, you got a point right there. So
And then take plenty of
definitely,
pictures, like you said, before and after pictures. That's I know people make fun of, or like social media is grown so much right now that I think a lot of people do it now, like videos, photos, all that. But I know when I started, people were like, why are you taking the time to do all this?" I'm like, it's actually good for your business. Before and after photos, little clip of you doing an install, something like that, and then kind of use that to present to new customers, your website, stuff like that. All that's good.
no, definitely. Yeah, I completely agree with that, 100%. And that's what I do is on the maintenances when I advertise them or when I post them and whatnot, it'll always have a before and an after picture, and you could clearly see the difference and just the difference that it makes.
If you
Everything
if
that
you do it
oh,
right. If you do it
exactly,
right, because the thing is with and I'm sure you deal with it a lot on the residential side, like because I don't know if it was Curtis or somebody else I was talking to, and they were talking about cleaning like the outside of it, right? They're like, I clean the inside, right? Like you clean all the
yeah,
internal parts, you clean out the leaves or whatever it is, but like what does the customer see, right? The customer
yeah,
wants to see like a spick and span, nice shine on that unit, right? So like And I've talked to that like with my brother because my brother does more of our maintenance now than I do, and he's good about it though. I think he has like OCD or something, like honestly. And I'm like whatever you do, like do what you're gonna do to it, but also wipe down the unit, make sure that thing looks like it's been cleaned, because the customer does not go in there and takes apart the panel and like sees inside. Unless you take pictures, you can do that too, but go take a little bit more time, few more minutes here and there, wipe down the outside. And I remember, I think it was Curtis. He's like that he started doing it now, and he's like, I don't know, but the customers love it. I don't see a point in it, but the customers love it, right?
That's because that's what the customers see. They don't see like the all the dust out of the electrical section or anything like that. They see the outside of the unit, and if it looks clean to them, then they think it's clean. Whether you clean the inside or not, you know, that's what the customer sees. But that's
Yeah,
good. That's good advice. What you told your brother, like clean the heck out of the outside, make sure it looks good, just in case the customer does go up on the roof. It's rare, but you know it
yeah.
happens. They'll go up there and be like, "These guys are doing a good job," and you know, let's keep them around.
Well, we try to clean, like keep it clean, like on the unit, right? We do our maintenance to it, and then I try to clean around it, right? Even if washing down a coil, you're gonna get all that black water because all the dust, settled around it, or when you washed it out, it's just falling out. I try to rinse that off the roof as much as I can to get it away from the unit. Make sure everything around the unit is clean as well. I mean, it looks nice, but it also could just suck it back up. But
No, exactly.
when I told my brother, it's because we do hospital work too. So a lot of reach-in coolers, ice machines, and stuff like that. So we have like stainless steel cleaner with us too, and we wipe down the all the metal, the stainless steel. I always tell them like check all the sides of the panels, check like anywhere, like just stand back for a minute, look at it, and you'll see like make sure every little thing is clean because they're gonna look at it. And we've had that plenty of times where they go behind us and they'll go and look at it, and it's like if it's done well, we get compliments, um, and they'll stick with us, versus like other companies.
One thing that I do implement for myself is I always pretend as if if they're gonna call another company and they're gonna come behind me, and you
Yeah,
know,
that's
I go,
exactly what I used to tell people. Always act like somebody's watching you or coming behind you.
yeah, exactly. And like if I see a capacitor in a box in a residential house, like I'll take a before picture and then I'll go out to the truck. It takes 1 minute. I'll go down to the truck and get a little strap and I'll strap it to the unit. It's way better, looks cleaner, doesn't have couldn't short out or anything like that. And then, if somebody does come behind you, they can't point that out. They can't blame you for that.
And it's funny that you say that because that's something that I would tell people, or I've told my brother, and that's just the mentality that I had too. Like, even if I'm the only company that they call or the only person they call, I'm not gonna leave a mess. I'm not gonna leave it like you said, like a capacitor in a box. I'm not gonna leave it anything because if somebody does come after me, or I can just act like somebody might see it, um, they're gonna just start nitpicking at you, right? He didn't do this. He didn't do that. Look at the mess he left, or look at this. Another thing is like, because I deal with rooftops, is like trash on the roof, right? I don't like to leave trash on the roof because somebody goes up there. We do have I can't remember which ones they are, but we do have some that the managers actually go up on the roof. I had one that would always go and do like a sweep and check, and I didn't know that, and I'm like, oh shit! Thankfully, I didn't leave a mess up there, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm used to kind of cleaning up my area. And there's one that I went to a few years ago. I went up there and there was like old contactors and capacitors thrown around. There was like four compressors right by the roof hatch. There was a ton of stuff that we found up there, and we had to. And my dad, that was a new customer for us, and he's like, "All right, let's just start cleaning up the roof, right? Like we'll do it for them. We'll kind of tell them about it and just make like mention it to them, but we'll
Yeah.
take care of it. We'll clean it up. That's just the way we like to do things. Even if nobody goes after you, just act like it because you don't want to get called out for like anything, even if it wasn't your fault. If you like you said, if you were there and you didn't do anything about it, that's just as bad as, you know, being
Exactly.
the one that did it.
And I've had a bunch of customers actually this year. I've gotten a bunch of new customers. They actually tell me that the other company didn't do that, or that they're happy that I brought them out to the condenser and I'm like educating them on why you can't have a capacitor in a box, and they could see the burn marks on the box and stuff like that.
I've had to do that too, but it, it's it's always like I also learned not to talk bad about the previous company. I've mentioned this a few times. Like, uh, you don't have to take a dig at the previous company. Like, if they're gonna say, "Oh, they didn't," like I've had them. Like, I keep my mouth shut about any work that's been done. Right, I just go there and do my work, and like you said, educate them, tell them about what you did, why you did this or why you did that. That's all great. If they want to say that the previous company didn't do something, or they scammed them or whatever it is, let them say it. I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm just here to do my job and try to help you out, as best as I can, and um, just keep the customer happy that way.
No, that's really good. That's exactly what I always say is I'm like, oh, well, this is our standard, and this is what you'll get with our service, and just keep it simple. Don't even though you're like looking at it and it's like, I can't believe somebody else did this, or left it like this, is you just gotta
It
bite your tongue
in
sometimes.
my, yeah, in my head, I am like, oh my god! Like there was one that I went to. It was a walk-in cooler and freezer, and I'm like, this is a word. It was a completely new walk-in box, or two walk-in boxes. And I actually, and I've talked about this before. Like anybody listening that's heard this, it was a bid that they needed the bid that day. And this guy does construction and everything else. He's a friend of mine. I was like, I don't have time to do this right now. It was in the middle of summer too. So like they got somebody else to do it. I had to go back there recently because there was a bunch of issues with it after it was installed, and the company I guess was from out of town and they were going to come back. I don't know, but when I got there in my head, I'm just like, oh my god, this is like the worst install I have ever seen. It's not the right equipment. It's not installed properly whatsoever. The drain wasn't even pitched right. It was like
Oh,
slanting up. It was raining in the walk-in box. That's what I had to go out there for. And
that's horrible.
I just could not get it to work because of the way that they mounted it. I had to like drill a hole through the box and just go directly out because they try to run it through the freezer, and I'm like, this is not gonna work. So I was like, I'll do the work, but like in my head, I'm just like, this is the worst I've ever seen. I don't know. Like I didn't want to tell him like too much, but I'm like, man,
No, yeah, that's good though. That makes you look like a superstar, when you go out there and you fix somebody else's mess up and whatnot, and that's good. But yeah, sometimes we just gotta bite our tongue. You look at something and you're like,
yeah,
oh, I
my
don't want to see that.
my dad has a good laugh sometimes because like every now and then they'll try and get, because we do a lot of commercial. We have commercial accounts that we've had for a long time, and like I said, they might cry about the price here and there. I try to increase our labor, every couple of years, every few years. Like we were like really really low, you know, honestly almost half the price of some of these other companies. And I've been trying to get it like up to be competitive. And they'll cry about it and they'll try another company, and then
You
they
always
had
come back.
yeah, the unit works for like a day and then like it breaks down, and then they like recently they had one that I had to go and fix, and they begged us to go out there. And my dad was kind of mad at me for going out there, and I'm like, well, like, they want us to fix it. I'm gonna go fix it. So I fixed it after the other company went out there, and then they tell us that the other company billed them like $3,000, and it was like for a valve, and I'm like, okay, and they didn't even like set it right because I had to go and adjust it because the superheat was way off on a walk-in freezer. I was like, they didn't even
Mm,
like install it right, or set it right and all this and that. And yeah, they're like, never again. Like, we're good. Like, we don't want to get screwed over again.
they definitely do come back around when they try these other cheap companies because it usually never works out. They're cheap for a reason.
They're cheaper, or they're just trying to run as many calls as they can, and they're in and out. Like, if I have to stay at a business all day just to get a free, because the freezers and ice machines are kind of the ones that take me longer because of the cycles, and the freezer has to get down to temp and all that. So like for that one, I spent the whole day there just to make sure it worked. Like if I have to do that, I'll do that. And some companies just want to be in and out, get to the next call because they need to rack up those calls, rack up that money. That's how they think.
Yeah.
You starting out your business, relatively quickly. How was it a hard thing for you to do? Was it a hard transition to go into that side of it, or did you feel well prepared?
I want to say that I was already kind of prepared just because of the first go around that I already had. I already had an idea of what it would be. I will say that when you're a one man show, it is way harder because you're doing everything. You're dispatching yourself, you're doing the billing, you're doing the scheduling. It is harder. So I'm trying to grow it to a point where I can hire somebody to kind of delegate some of the more minute tasks like scheduling and sending bills out. Have somebody else do that.
I kind of want to do that because I'm getting tired of doing all the billing and everything. And
It's
then I
hard,
I
even.
get behind because like if we're a little bit slower, like in the winter, stuff like that, like I'm on top of it, right? All the invoices get sent on time. I'm able to do everything I need to do on the computer. But like right now, I have invoices that are just sitting here that have been here for a couple weeks. I'm like, fuck, I need to get these out, right? And
Yeah,
and then my dad's like, because my dad has me doing all that stuff, and he runs like he deals with the money side, the business, a lot of that. I handle the billing, the documents, all that kind of stuff. And then he's like, "Hey, like, how come they're not done?" And I'm like, "Can you let me sit at a computer for 5 minutes? Like, you have me running calls. I'm dealing with no calls all day, and it's very difficult. You find yourself doing a lot of this stuff late at night, or whenever you have like time to sit down.
and that's like a problem I'm having now because I'm so busy. By the time I get home, it's 8 o'clock at night. I got my son like wanting to play, and I'm like in the back of my head, I'm like, if I don't send these bills out right now, I'm gonna forget.
Uh,
Like it's
yeah,
tough.
I forgot you had a kid. So how old is your kid?
He's 5.
Man, that's a
He,
tough one.
yeah, it is
Because
tough, but
mine was, well, he's 10 right now, and I remember when he was a little bit like around that age, like, and I mean, even now, like he's getting into sports and stuff. I'm like, damn it, like I don't want to tell them no. Like if they want to play games, if they want to be outside, if they want to go somewhere, like I don't want to tell them no. I don't want to be that dad, right? Like that's always a struggle. But then, like you said, I'm like, oh, if I don't sit down here and do this today, it's gonna take longer to get paid and all that. That's all the stuff that you think about.
yeah, and it's a struggle for sure. And the way I'm seeing it right now is I'm just like I just gotta sacrifice, a couple years, and you'll thank me later if everything goes to plan. And but it's hard. It's hard to kind of balance, everything that goes on as like a business owner and everything like service related because you're doing everything. You're doing everything under the umbrella. So
Yeah, that's a hard. It's hard for you because when I started, I already had my first few years in the business before my kid was born. So like it was a little bit easier. I felt horrible because I used to work a lot in the beginning. So like when he was a baby, I felt horrible because he'd be there like with his arms out, like wanting to for me to pick him up and to stick around, and I'm like, oh, I got to go to work, and I used to work real late and stuff, so I felt horrible, in the beginning. Like you said, you got to, first few years you're gonna be out there, you're living it right now, working early, staying late, working when you get home. You got to deal with all that. It's not easy. That's what I'm asking. Like, how hard was it for you? And I know you're dealing with it right now.
yeah, I guess different aspects are hard. Everything that's related to the business, like running calls, doing the billing, it's hard to a certain extent. It's hard because it's hard to find the time to do everything. Um, but I mean, running calls, that's the easy part. You just show up and you do what you got to do.
That's my favorite part. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. That's the easy. Yeah, exactly. Like that's the favorite part because you're gonna go out there, you're gonna fix it, but everything else that comes after that is the headache and the struggle. But yeah, I guess when you see it from that perspective, it is hard starting a business.
And that's why, because like my dad was in the trades, not doing HVAC. He used to be an electrician. Like I said, now he does the food service stuff. So I'm remembering how he was. He was always tired. You know, he was always in his work clothes. I mean, that's how I am now too.
Yep.
And yeah, he's always and I but I remember he was always doing things with us, right? He was always playing sports with us, video games, whatever it was. Always took us out. So like I'm just trying to be like that now. I'm just tired as hell doing it, you know?
Yeah, and you also got a lot of other things that you're growing too, like your personal brand. I see you growing it, the podcast, you're doing the HVAC nights, all that other
I don't I
Instagram.
don't I don't even have time to watch TV anymore. That's how it is. Like I want to like the other day I was like I'm going to watch a movie. I'm like no, I got to edit something. I'm like damn it. Okay.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's all sacrifices you're gonna make, and it's all gonna pay off for sure. I'm sure you see it now; it's paying off. Your
I'm
channel's
having a
growing.
blast. I'm having a blast doing it. Like you know, I still have a few more questions to get through, but like thank you for coming on again. Like this has been a great conversation, and this is what I love about it. Just sitting down. Like when else can I sit down with somebody and like really get into like work stuff or like any other aspects of it? That's why I like doing this.
No, no, no. Thank you for having me on. Like I said, I love this podcast whenever I can. I'll listen to it when I'm driving. It's great. I like hearing everybody's story. So I'm glad
I
you started
appreciate
it.
it. I appreciate it, man. Um, are you really a one man show? Like you're doing all this. You don't have any helper, apprentice, anything like that.
At the moment, no. If I need help, I just, hire guys for the day to help me
You
install
like
a unit.
subcontract it out or something?
Just depends on the situation, but I mean, compressors, motors, everything like that, I can handle myself.
Do you get on a lot of rooftops, or are you just sticking to residential?
I've had a few rooftops. I'm trying to uh, kind of grow that part of it. I know I love residential. I say that a lot, but I'm trying to grow the commercial side just a little bit more because I know that's what's going to sustain the company when it comes to wintertime. The
I
maintenance,
will.
everything
Yeah.
like
Well,
that.
the maintenance, yes. The agreements that you can get, those are good. But I will say recently I had because they were the same call, but for two different. Like one was a commercial account, and one was it was still a commercial RTU, but it was for a mom and pop shop, right? So like same call, same thing, same leak, same issue getting the coil. And I'm like,
Oh,
yeah, and I'm like, I feel so bad for the mom and pop shop because he was like, how much is the coil going to be? Like, he was worried about the price of the coil, right? And I'm like, let me figure it out. I'll get back to you. I can't find it. I'm still trying to get. I got a contact for somebody at Ream, and they're trying to help me out because I originally was told that they can't even get it. So
oh,
I feel bad for that customer, right? Because I have to go back and be like, you're gonna need it. You're gonna have to wait a good while, and it's a hot kitchen that they're working in, or just buy a new unit, right? Versus the other one is a national chain. If I tell them they need a new unit, more than likely they'll just buy it. Like that's two different aspects of that. And but then my whole point was like commercial, they're a little quicker to replace that unit or just get it going, get it fixed. I don't care what it costs. And every now and then I get the other side of it where it's like it's a small mom and pop shop or anything like that, and it's like you said, like when you dealt with that lady that had a hard time, with finances, like that's the stuff they deal with, and I feel bad about it too.
yeah, yeah. It's hard. It's hard for sure. But I did notice that, like the smaller mom and pop shop commercial stuff, that's what I'm getting more of at the moment. I
And
haven't
that's what
had
that's what
like,
I started with too. That was great to start with and get it going and kind of learn how to fix things because like I love the accounts that we had when we started, like to help me build my skills.
yeah.
Because right now I'm getting a little bit bored when it's like I give them the option and they just want a new unit. I'm like, okay.
No, that's good. That's a good. Hey, honestly a good problem to have. Like you're
Yeah,
getting
no,
bored.
I'm not complaining.
No, that's good. But yeah, I definitely I can tell that you have you care about the customers for sure. Just that statement right there says a lot about you.
No, man, like it was difficult, but like I said, my whole point is like commercials good to get into because of the of the money, it's always going to be there. Like if you build a good relationship with a commercial account, I mean, they have more equipment, they abuse it more. Like you're going to repair it or replace it, um, month to month. It's just going to be work. Versus like you're doing residential. I mean, I think residential is more volume. Like you need more customers, more people to
Way
keep you
more like,
busy. Yeah. Whereas like us in the beginning, we actually had all the IHOPs that were here, and there wasn't like a whole lot of them, but just how much equipment they had, they kept us like super busy, and we were just doing that for a long time.
I'm hoping it'll definitely happen. I don't have to hope it'll happen
Oh
in
yeah,
time.
no, it
Have stuff.
the way you're running things, it's very similar to how we were, and that stuff you're already seeing it. It just grows on its own. Like if you put the work into it, the effort into it, like how do you get, like, since you're so new to this and even to the trades, like how are you getting customers? Because that's another thing that people ask me all the time is like, how do I get customers? Like you starting out on your own, especially doing residential, like how are you getting those customers?
Well, I'm posting on apps like Nextdoor. I'll post on Facebook. I'll post on like local Facebook pages like Vegas stuff and whatnot. So I'm just posting on there, and then of course I've done like before I was fully on my own. I already was taking care of some people, and then just word of mouth. You do good work, it gets spread real quick. So that's basically it. I haven't, like I said, I haven't advertised. I haven't like went in physically and tried to talk to building or directors of buildings and whatnot. But
You
I'm sure
haven't
if I
you
did,
haven't I'm sorry, you haven't had to go like door to door or anything like that?
no, I haven't, not yet. I actually bought like 1,000 door hangers when back in I want to say in March, April when it was still slow, just because I was like, oh, I don't want to be slow. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything that I can. And honestly, I'm gonna give a shout out right now. W Walter Washington with WWHVAC.
Oh yeah.
I listen to a lot of his stuff. A lot of his stuff works. So like I had that in mind to go put door hangers, introduce myself, but they're just sitting in the box because I'm so booked up. I don't have time to do that right now.
Yeah, I
But
get you. No, but
um,
it's funny because I had him on the show, and like you said, like he has a lot of this that he's done because he started up his business pretty quick too, and was very successful at it. And I was like, we're having that conversation as well. Like, how do you start? How do you get customers? And I'm like, because that's it's kind of similar to the way we did things. Like we also went restaurant to restaurant. It wasn't like door to door, but it was restaurant to restaurant. And then you want to stand out and you want to give flyers or whatever it is. And then word of mouth just kind of takes off after you do get, some work when you start and all that. Like that'll take off for you.
just do good work, whatever you can do. Like go visit every building. For those commercial, companies that are doing mostly commercial, go visit every building, introduce yourself, give them a card, give them a brochure, whatever you got. When you're doing more residential, I guess I would do more of like the social media, Facebook groups,
Oh yeah.
Nextdoor. Uh, Thumbtack actually has helped me out too, but I haven't. I don't like it just because I got to pay a fee every time I acquire a customer. Like it's
Yeah, I think we were gonna try those, and I think I signed up for a couple because at the beginning we didn't know what kind of work we were gonna do. I wanted to stay in the kitchen stuff, but like how you're worried about getting work and stuff, so I kind of signed up for a couple of them, and we got a lot of calls coming in. But I was like, I have enough work because, like I said, we got ended up getting like the IHOPs and hospital work and stuff like that. So I didn't end up needing it, but like, yeah, definitely. Social media is a good one to take advantage of right now. And
definitely.
I think I've seen you on LinkedIn too, right? Like even that one, I started kind of late. I just started mine, but that's been a nice little help too.
Yeah, definitely LinkedIn. Find maintenance managers, maintenance supervisors, property managers, stuff like that. Link with them, talk with them. All that good stuff definitely going to help you out.
It's a lot of trial and error down here, and I always when I see a new company pop up, like a local one, I'm always like, how long are they going to stay in business? I've seen a lot come and go, so you need to be well prepared, but also know the market that you're in, the area that you're in, and just be competitive and just do good work.
Definitely gonna take that advice for sure. I don't want to be one of the statistics where the company goes out within the first. I think it's like 5 years, or 60% of companies go out within the first five
Which
years or something.
I've seen it because I pay attention to the vans out there, right? And I'll look at the name and I'll see how long I see them around, right? Sometimes I see them only for like a year and then I don't see their van ever again. And sometimes I see like I've just seen one that they have a ton of vans out there now. And they're not that they haven't been around that long, but like they're growing pretty rapidly. So you kind of like I said, it's a small area, a small town, and you kind of know the companies around. And unfortunately, I've seen a lot that just disappear within the first, like you said, 5 years.
I'm trying to think already ahead, like what I'm gonna do for the winter, slow season, and just get a game plan for that.
Just
Even though we're not there yet.
yeah, maintenance, maintenance, maintenance. That's what we've kind of turned to. And I can't tell you like the last time that I've had a slow month, just because of that.
That's good. How come I got a question.
Go for it.
If, you don't have to answer if it's some personal or whatnot, but how come you guys haven't? It sounds like you guys are really busy. How come you guys haven't tried to hire any more guys? Are you just trying to keep it like a small family ran company, or?
We were trying to keep it small, and obviously the hardest part is because we have hired before when we started. And if you lose an account, if you lose or you get outbid on some of these jobs, I don't know if I can keep paying that guy. So we've had issues in the past where we've had to lay off people. And lately, like for it being busy the whole year, that's only been like the past 2 to 3 years. Or I think ever since like COVID, actually. Like we actually got really busy during COVID. And then it kind of like it kept jumping every year, like the revenue and
Workload?
everything. Yeah, the money we're making. And we've had this discussion the past couple of years. Is my dad's always worried about like he feels so bad because he felt bad last time when he told the guys like I'm sorry, like we had a couple of months without really anything like to keep them busy all week. And at that point, he had to start telling them like I can't pay you guys, like I'm sorry, and he felt like horrible. And that's just something he doesn't want to go through again. But I think we are gonna have to hire somebody now because of all the maintenance. So even if I have somebody that just does maintenance or just does one of the other, whether it's like go check out a place in the meantime, and if you need help, I'll go out and do it, or I diagnose like bad motors or something that I can just go in and out and then have somebody else go and install it. We're still trying to figure that part out. I think now is the time that we're going to do that. It's just a matter of like, I think it's mostly my dad making sure that this isn't like a fluke, right? Like the
Yeah.
money's going up and up and up, but I'm like, he's like worried that's going to just dip. But we haven't
Yeah.
had that, like I said, in the past couple of years.
Yeah, I was just wondering because you guys are always busy. I know you're always working and whatnot.
I worked till like 9 last night. And then I worked this morning, so I was like, damn it, dude. Like I'm tired.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Last night I was
I
out too
think,
for.
yeah, you worked last night too?
Yeah, that was that capacitor, and then by the time I got home and got ready, went to go eat. When we're eating dinner at the table, we're at Olive Garden. I was like falling asleep. It was I was so done. I was ready to go to sleep.
No, you have those days, man, and when you run your own business, you can't turn it off, right? Like you got other things to do, but I think my goal at some point is just to, like I said, have somebody do. Oh, I was gonna bring up like when I brought up the rooftop work. If you do that, is because yesterday I did. I worked till like I said, I worked till 9 or whatever. I started my day at 8. Now we do restaurants, so I can't go in like super early. They don't know. A lot of them don't open till 10 or 10:30. So I've always told people I'm kind of spoiled by that. Like I don't have to be there at 5 or 6 in the morning. Like I'm good. But I did go in at 8 and do a compressor swap for a warranty. Man, roping up a compressor or anything like that to a roof really takes a lot out of you. And I think I'm looking for more of a supervisor type of role, in the next few years. I think that's what I want to do now. Have somebody
No,
else deal with the compressor.
that's good that you're thinking ahead like that and getting that game plan going because your body's gonna start feeling it, and that's another concern that I have. I'm not trying to be in the field forever. Like right now, I'm young and I can work unlimited hours if I needed to. But
Yeah, you don't want to get to that point because like that's another thing that I told my dad. I kind of poked fun at it. Like he had a health scare, and then my uncle had well, he dealt with COVID, and he hasn't been the same since. Like he still works hard. Yesterday, I went to go help him out with a duct job. We had to redo some duct that fell apart, and he was in the attic the entire time. But it was a drop ceiling. It wasn't like a house attic or
oh,
anything
okay,
like that, so it wasn't as bad. But I was up there with him. I'm like, damn, it's still hot up there, and he worked through it and he stayed in there, but he's short of breath a lot. He gets tired quickly. He needs breaks more often than he used to. And then I'm over here like I never had a health scare or anything like that, but I used to play sports. I have bad knees. I had surgeries. It's hard for me to do things sometimes, and stuff comes up. My kids get me sick all the time. Like right
yeah,
now, right now I'm kind of dealing with it too. But I was like, right now, almost all of us are like dealing with something. We're all hurt or in one way or another. We need to start getting some young guys, to kind of do the lifting and all that. So I don't know. Like obviously, like you said, you only have one body. You want to take care of it, and we try to do things that we try not to over exert ourselves. I don't
yeah,
care. I don't care. Like if they need a break, take it. I don't get after anybody for that. And my dad has never been somebody to like, it has to be done like this by this morning, by this hour, by whatever. Like, take your time. That's the most important thing. So eventually, we're gonna just hire, somebody to do the muscle. I guess that's how I can put it.
yeah. I don't know if I lived in your area and I seen like an ad and I knew that it was working for your company, I would jump on that so quick, man. I'd be like the top apprentice for sure. Like you're very smart, and I'm sure if any guys out there like watch you and they're within your area and you say that you're looking to hire and they're young and ready to put in the work,
I
they jump
appreciate
on.
that. Yeah, I appreciate that. I've actually had people that ask me if they can come work for free, and I'm like, I can't. That's a liability type of deal. They just want to come and like learn. I'm like, no, like I just can't do that from a business owner standpoint. But I think when we are ready to hire, what I kind of want to get into, if my dad is worried about the payroll, I think we're gonna start doing like an apprenticeship type of deal, like a program or whatever it is, and that way we can get in people, train them. They're gonna be younger guys that can lift things that I probably can't do anymore, and I can just train them, and they can move on or whatever they want to do, or if they want to stay. I think that's the route that I'm gonna go to. Is like bringing in multiple people to train them, and then maybe give them a start, and then they can find something else.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good for sure.
I wanted to ask you one more. We kind of went over the hour, but I wanted to ask you one more question. Um, can I ask you how old you are?
Yes, I'm 26 years old.
Okay. Being a 26-year-old and being an owner, is that hard when you have to deal with the customer? Like I know you do residential, but sometimes you got to deal with upper management, or maybe it's an older customer. Is do they I don't know, is that difficult when you're that young and you're running a business?
I think it plays more in my head than theirs
Okay.
because um I see both sides. Like I could see a customer having to talk to a young guy like me, and the young guy's telling him like this is what's wrong, this is what's wrong. You got to fix this. This is how much it's going to cost. And um I don't know. It hasn't been an issue yet. Like I haven't had somebody tell me like you're too young to do this, or um you're too young to be a business owner. But I think I do a pretty good part in backing everything up and reinforcing my knowledge by educating them and being thorough. And I like to I do study, and I like try to read and learn about human nature and psychology and all that stuff, just so I can understand and read people's body language, because that says a lot.
Um,
But
yeah.
um, I don't know. It hasn't been an issue yet. I think I'm just beating myself up more about it because I'm so young, and I'm like, oh, is this guy gonna believe me because I'm telling him he needs a compressor, and he's gonna look at me and think like, really, you're young and do you know what you're doing? I think I just beat myself up more about it than
Yeah, and that's
listening.
happened. Yeah, that's happened to me. It's in my head all the time. But when I started, like, I did have, and I only deal with like older people because like it's all management, um, that I have to report to and this and that. And I didn't like it for a while because like I could tell they were not either believing me or who is this kid, stuff like that. Like I dealt with that, so that's why I asked just in case. But um, my my dad also, my dad was very supportive of me being in the business, and he made it more of a point to tell people that I was the owner too, right? He even made me shirts where it was our uniform and it said owner, and I didn't like that. But he's like, he's like, you need to meet these people. You need to get to know them. I want them to know that you're the owner too. I could always talk my way out of things, right? Like I could always give them the information. I could go into specific detail if they really needed to, or if they wanted to test me, right? Like, oh, are you sure it's this and not that? Or like, are you like, anything that they came up with? Okay, you want me to, I'll walk you through it. Let's talk about it. And that was always my best like defense for that. And my dad always, wanted me to do that too. He's like, he'd have a conversation with the manager, whatever it is. And he's like, well, why are you asking me? Ask him. Like, he's the one that knows, what he's doing. And he worked on it. Like, go ahead. And that was always my best thing, right? Just educate the customer, inform them, and walk them through whatever you did. That was always how I got them to be like, oh, okay, this kid knows what he's doing. And I got their respect that way. That's how I dealt with it. Yesterday, when I was going to that job for the compressor, like I always try to like enjoy my drive and prepare myself, especially for something like that, because I knew it was going to be hot. And then somebody comes, we're side by side, and then he just like, it seems like he just went like this because he just like
No,
got into my lane, and he was trying to make like a U-turn on the left side. The dude almost ran me off the road, and I'm like, really? This is how we're gonna start my day? And that's when I'm like, thank God I had a dash cam, right? If he did hit
yeah.
me, I can show that.
No, it's definitely good to have, especially once you have stickers and your truck is labeled with a company name.
Yeah, because
People
they
see that.
they will call. Yeah.
Yeah, people see that like, oh, if I hit him or something, like I'm gonna get cashed out or whatever it is. But
See, and I
I
didn't
was
think
gonna.
about that. And I didn't think about that, but my dad would warn me. He's like, once we put this on there, he's like, be careful because people see a truck or whatever it is. They think they see money. That's all they see. All right, man. Well, we are well over an hour. I appreciate you for coming on. I don't want to keep you too long. Um, I don't know if you want to close out on anything or if you have anything else to say or add to it.
No, well, I appreciate you having me on again. It's always a good time. I know last time I was on here was about like a year ago or something, maybe over
Yeah,
a year. That was a good time too. Like I said, keep doing what you're doing. This podcast is great. Keep shining light on everything that we're doing in the trade.
I appreciate it. I thank you for that. I thank you for making time to come on the show. It was a good time. I really like seeing that you're doing your own thing and just staying busy because that's always everybody's concern when they start a business is like how to stay busy, and you're doing a good job. So hats off to you and your business. Top tier service. I want to make sure to leave all your information in the description, and if anybody wants to go check you out, they can do so. And thanks again, man.
No, appreciate that. Thank you. You have a good day. I'll talk to
Uh,
you later.
Everybody watching and listening, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. See you guys.